I actually don't know all that much about the climate of Texas, other than it is.
It's also not great.
It depends on where you go, because you've got the dry parts of Texas, and then there's the more the humid parts of Texas, and then there's the colder parts of Texas, and there's the hotter parts of Texas.
And then there's the culture of Texas, which makes everything worse.
Oh, but you can't beat Texas barbecue, though. I don't care what anybody says. I love Alabama barbecue. I love Louisiana barbecue. I love, like, North Carolina barbecue. Texas barbecue. A good Texas barbecue pit is where it's at.
I would rather go an entire lifetime without experiencing it than step foot in Texas for barbecue.
This is why you go to places that can do Texas barbecue outside of Texas.
But if any of you are out there watching us in Texas, we love you.
Oh, we love the people from Texas and the food from Texas, just not the climate in Texas. No, thank you. I do not want to be branded by an Abraham Lincoln penny when I sit down in my car. Thank.
Yeah, how do people have leather seats down south? I can't imagine.
I live in a cool part of Queensland, and I regret having leather seats. I don't have a choice.
Charlotte's right. Sandy Squirrel was from Texas.
Yeah.
And she left.
To go
But
on
she
an
had
adventure.
A whole song. She had a whole song about how
adventure.
she misses Texas, though.
Okay, well, not enough to go back.
Was Sandy Squirrel a marine biologist?
Sandy's last name is Cheeks.
She's a scientist. We know that. I don't think it was ever specified what kind of scientist she is, but she is.
Sandy Cheeks was sent from Houston, Texas to Bikini Bottom to study underwater life.
It's Calico.
Yeah, but we haven't yeeted Calico into the ocean, though, so.
She received a grant to research physics, engineering, marine biology, and several other fields of study underwater.
Yes, the general scientist that you get only in cartoons.
Yeah.
This was explained in the episode Chimps Ahoy.
Yeah, everything past season, 5.
I've never watched a full episode of SpongeBob SquarePants.
That's sad. You can't trust people who don't know the full gambit of SpongeBob quotation.
I was raised on Scooby-Doo.
I mean, same. You can be both.
Wow, a little bit more interesting facts about SpongeBob for you. So it is important to note that Bikini Bottom is actually a real place. It's in the Bikini Atoll where the U.S. tested nuclear bombs until 1962.
Everything makes sense now.
One of the
I thought everyone knew this.
No.
One of the prominent theories about the creation of the show is that all of the life under the water is just left all mutations from the radiation from the nuclear testing at Bikini Atoll. Also, most of the buildings and the houses are car parts. Most predominantly mufflers.
Though Nickelodeon has repeatedly denied it, the characters are likely originated from this whole idea. Radiation causes mutations, and that's why all the creatures are sentient. And to add to that, H30, which is heavy water, is commonly in irradiated environments, which is why they have a beach underwater.
Yep.
And Sandy was most likely sent there to study the effects of radiation on marine life. That's great.
Yeah. SpongeBob has been around long enough that it is just an absolute wonderland for delightful, weird, random crap that just somehow cohesively sticks together. And you can find a GIF, a reaction for just about everything.
How long has it been around now? 25, 26 years, something like that?
Hey.
I was actually looking that up.
If it's 98,
Do I want to know?
15 seasons, 345 episodes as of October 10th.
started in 1999.
Hey.
That feels right.
So 25.
That doesn't feel right. That feels very wrong.
I knew it was somewhere around there.
Oh,
And it's available on Netflix in Australia.
Mm-hmm. "15 seasons.
can't believe SpongeBob has the same number of seasons as Supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
And much like Supernatural, there's a gift for everything.
But we've been live for a few minutes now, talking about SpongeBob.
I can go back to Texas barbecue if you want.
And Charlotte's
No.
right. In the friendship song, they do sing about uranium bombs.
It's true.
We
U
could
is for uranium bombs.
always move on to the Superior Show, Phineas and Ferb.
I don't know if I'd call it superior. It's just it's
I
a
like
different.
it, but I would never call it. Yeah, I would. never
Yeah,
call it superior.
it's too different to be compared.
Get out of my laboratory!
Classic.
Omelette de fromage.
I
Oh,
think that's
Dexter,
because
say it
of the
again.
garlic in my cheese garlic crust.
Dede?
Ah,
What are you doing in my laboratory?
Look, SpongeBob raised an entire generation.
For better or worse.
Yeah, and I definitely didn't appreciate it until I was an adult.
It's my favorite thing about the early seasons is how many of those, as you get older and you rewatch some of those jokes, you wonder how they got past any sort of censor.
somebody just not
Oh my
paying
God.
attention.
Well, Nickelodeon as a whole, up until recently, was a questionable channel for kids. Let's be real. 90s Nickelodeon, Wild West.
Looking at you, Legend of the Hidden Temple.
I mean, all of the cartoons were absolutely feral.
God,
Legend
the
of the Hidden
cartoons?
Temple is amazing.
Oh, it was so good, but who approved that? Who greenlit that? All of those shows like Double Dare and the freaking video game one that they had. Who
Geniuses. Who
greenlit?
wouldn't want to be a part of that?
Well, with freaking Legends of the Hidden Temple, they were filming like 5 episodes at once.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's just TV in general.
they do like the river crossing one. They'd have all the teams, and then they'd all get out of the water and start drying off while another set of all the teams went through for the next episode. Yeah.
Apparently the host was an ass, though.
Nickelodeon's not known for superior casting, let's be real.
Except for Mark Summers. The everyman that was the germaphobe and still did Double Dare.
Yeah.
A
Anyway.
paycheck's a hell of a motivator.
Anyway.
All right, God, what are we doing today?
Yep.
Well, do we want to do recap roll in? I don't think we have any announcements other than welcome back to Adventurers Anonymous. It's been a couple weeks. I only feel slightly like death, but that's because half the people in my office are sick, and I'm 90% sure I'm going to catch it.
Everybody's sick this recently.
But yes, I don't think we have any announcements. I don't think. Unless I'm missing something, I think we're clear to roll in and then recap.
So we had Lachlan, Masaru, Hyreus, and Brutus, as well as the Shadow coming in
that's
the
right.
western gate.
Oh, fuck
Hyreus
me.
wasn't. We had some people that hadn't had the chance to meet our newest edition. But yes, we have our lovely team entering from the west, having gone off to collect your supplies, to make your way back, to prepare to board your ship. Masaru. Yes, it was that's right, it was Masaru that went on that mission. Lachlan, Hyreus, and Hallstrom had all gone on that mission, having successfully retrieved the supplies and having successfully also retrieved Salt, who had very much been defending. There's a nice little groove in the road.
Mm-hmm.
Had then been set upon by a figure from Masaru's existence, much to his deep chagrin and annoyance.
Hell, I think is what you meant to say.
Yes, from Masaru's deep-seated personal hell.
I did not sign up to having a yandere.
Yes, you did, actually. It was your fault. You gave me the idea.
Yeah, and we're all suffering for it.
My favorite part.
I apologize.
Only half the party met him, too. But yes, our little supply run party has now acquired a new acquaintance. And while that has been going on, our additional band of merry misfits has been off scouring the city. Rain had taken Malia to go inform the queen of some nefarious goings-on about Scratch and Augie. Remind me what you two were getting into, besides
We're-
lunch.
Oh, so
Regretting taking a teenager with us.
I
no,
you
we sent the teenager forward to go to the crew, and we were going to go check on the sighting of the apprentice. Is
Yeah,
that right?
we were looking for them, I believe.
I think you guys had gone off to go kind of check the bars as well for the crew while investigating. While Rain and Malia had also gone off to try to find some of the crew.
No. They were going off to talk to the queen.
Mhm.
You are correct. They were going off to talk to the queen about the erroneous, horrible, terrible rumors that Malia has heard about you guys trying to claim that the king was involved with the resistance.
No, they're warm.
And also, Rain would be useless
She's not mad
because
at us
she doesn't
anymore.
know who any of the crew members are.
That's probably true. The teenager is no longer mad at us. She ate.
Correct. But she still doesn't believe the rumors that you guys, the horrible, terrible things that you guys have been saying about the king being part of the resistance. The resistance is horrible, terrible, awful people. After all.
The youth of privilege.
Lachlan over here making a transmutation circle in the middle of the city.
I was about to say, what are we doing?
Right? Like, I'm wondering how many of you I'm going to have to sacrifice and which god we're summoning.
But the people
No, you see-
inside the transmutation circles are always creepy, and I don't want anything to do with them.
The transmutation circle is to gain enough power to face God, to consume God, and become God.
I am not interested. I just want to consume my delicious steamed vegetable bag.
That's actually
Consume the vegetable God.
it's more of a roast vegetable skewer, but you do you.
All right, who are we starting with?
I think we will start with Rain and Malia.
Yay!
You have been flying off to go and chat with the queen. Malia, very much the entire time, has just been doubting your exploits, and just she in no way, shape, or form believes any of the crap that you guys are telling her. And she also does not believe that you're just going to be able to fly up to the queen's personal chambers and just get an audience. She's very much pressing X to doubt.
In that case, I would tell her that I've done it before on her wedding night. So it's probably not a good idea to try that again, because she might still be a little mad about that first time. So we're going to go in through the front doors.
Okay, but like, what do you think that like you're just going to be able to walk in and get an audience with the queen? It's like not gonna happen.
Because I'm her cousin?
I'm assuming you can just imagining the short circuit face that the teenager is currently giving you. I say this to all of the teenagers in the audience here. You are all wonderful, smart, intelligent people, and some of you are dumb as rocks.
Mm.
But yes, your flight is pretty uneventful. You know, a few people look up when they see you fly by, but nobody really comments on anything. And you're able to get down into the palace area pretty easily. A few of the guards kind of give you weird looks, but most of them recognize both of you and just kind of awkwardly stand at attention as you land. Because they both recognize you from very powerful families for very different reasons. And as you walk up to the gates, Rain, with Malia trailing behind you, two of the guards move to stop your tracks, and one of them, the older of the two guards, holding a lance out in front of the doorway. Welcome to the Royal Palace. What is your business here?
I have urgent news for the Queen about dark schemes of remnants of the Mad King Zypher. It's incredibly delicate information, needs to be hand-delivered.
Uh-huh. And where, perchance, did you come across information about the so-called Mad King Zypher?
Oh, we actually just came from a wild trip through the woods, and I stumbled across these. Hold on, I have some papers right here. They're from the journal of his apprentice, and unfortunately they have details that only the Queen should see, but I'm happy to show you the signature on them.
The guards kind of share a look, and you see the younger of the two guards. He looks confused, but almost kind of awestruck as you're talking about the Mad King and the apprentice and all of these things. And the older guard, he sits for a moment, and you can see him kind of muttering very quietly, Rain. Before all of a sudden he nods, he pulls his lance back, and he motions for you to enter the palace doors, which swing open, entirely unaided.
Thank you very much. I'm sure my cousin will be happy to see me.
As you pass by, you hear from the younger one, "Holy shit, that's the Queen's cousin!" Before the doors slowly shut behind you.
I'm gonna say back to Malia, it's a couple times removed, but who's counting, really, with these royal bloodlines?
She kind of looks a little starstruck and just kind of looking around in the palace. And it looks a little different than the last time you were here, Rain. There's not as much broken glass on the floor.
Yeah, no fancy wedding decorations.
No fancy wedding
no party
decorations,
guests.
no party guests, no buffet tables, no stained glass precariously set just right for a smashing.
Question, have they repaired the window yet?
You notice that the window is covered. The 3 windows that you had smashed through are all covered, and have seemingly not been fully repaired yet. Everything in the palace is warmer than you remember. There are more lights around. Everything is a lot softer. There's more carpeting, more rugs around. Everything is a lot more pink than you remember. Instead of what had originally been very almost oppressive golds and silvers and white, everything is much softer now. The gold and the silvers are still very prominent, but more shades of pink, some more cream, a little bit of dark brown kind of warming everything up. And as the two of you walk in, Malia is kind of like holding onto your arm a little bit, just looking around. A steward comes out. Rain, you recognize this steward, as he is one of the Farwood family stewards. And he steps out to greet you, and he double takes and he blinks, and he rubs his eyes and just, Mistress Rain, you're here.
Hi, Longworth. Been a while.
I thought you were
away.
Uh-huh.
I was, but I came back.
Do your parents know? Does your family know?
Oh, yes. I imagine that's probably why you're working here now, instead of, back at the family estate.
We were curious when most of the house staff was reassigned to the royal palace. And you see him quickly compose himself, and he's an older man, and you remember him very much one of the people that he was never outright cruel, but never did anything outright to help you.
Yeah, that was most of them.
Yeah. And he very quickly composes himself, and he nods, and I have been informed that you are seeking an audience with Her Majesty. I have been asked to invite you into one of the studies where tea has been prepared.
Sounds good.
And he just kind of turns and walks off, still a little bit shocked. And you follow him through the chambers, and you see people working. A lot of the older decor is being removed. A lot of the gaudy chandeliers that you had seen, the gaudy accoutrement on the walls, is being taken down. And a lot of it is being replaced with more, I won't say subtle, because anybody who remembers playing with Ona Leyland knows that subtle was not the word to use.
Green.
No.
More tasteful.
Tasteful is what we'll go with. Definitely tasteful. And as he leads you in, you hear her voice coming from one of the studies. And as you're led in, you see that there's a large table covered with books. Books of fabric, books of flowers, books of different designs of furniture and things. And she has her hair pulled up in a very messy bun. She's dressed surprisingly casually but still like very high quality cut pants and a shirt with boots. She still is wearing her jewels, and you see that she is flipping through different books with one hand, making notes on parchment with other, and giving orders to people for things to order, to replace, to remove, to donate. And she has not noticed you enter at all.
I will just wait politely.
It takes a minute, and Longworth has disappeared off at some point to assumedly go fetch tea. And one of the workers notices you first and nudges the queen, who looks up, looks back down, processes for a moment, looks back up.
Give a little wait.
And she runs over to you. Oh, Reed, I heard you were at the door. I'm so happy to see you. And she just throws her arms around you.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we're doing this. All right, I'm gonna hug her back.
And she loops her arm around yours, the one that Malia is not holding, and pulls you in. Ignore the books. We're just doing some redecorating in the palace. These can be done later. These can be done later. And she just kind of dismisses everyone. The books are very quickly gathered, and in a matter of moments, the workers are gone. And she leads you over to a much smaller table. And she invites you to sit, and please take just a moment. I'm sure Longworth will be here. Oh, did you know him? I know he worked for your family. Was he one of your stewards? He mentioned that.
Yeah, he was one of the okay ones.
Oh, very good, very good. And then, almost as if conjured by his name, he appears back into the room with tea, biscuits, little finger sandwiches, cream, sugar, all the fineries. Jam, jelly, scones, all that fun stuff.
Oh, is that marmalade I see? You've remembered.
Of course I do. You would not believe what I had to go through to get the oranges imported. I don't know what has happened. The orange groves here, terrible. I need to remember to write Mineo and let him know and remind him and thank him, actually, for all of the citrus recommendations he gave me. So good. Some of the oranges that we found just randomly out in the world. Amazing.
Well, that's good.
But yes. You said you had information on Cypher. That was the king, right? The evil king? There's so many kings I've had to deal with lately.
Yes, and it's kind of a for your ears alone kind of thing. By the way, this is Malia. She had some questions for your new hubby.
Anna turns and just looks at her and just, oh my goodness, my dear, it is so wonderful to meet you. Yes, hi, hello, how are you? I'm sure Kian's here around here somewhere. And she rings a bell, seemingly conjured from nowhere in her sleeve. And a maid comes over and they chat for a moment. And Malia just kind of looks between you and the queen and back at you, back at the queen. Having not said a word this entire time, she just kind of nods and is then escorted out of the room as Anna Leyland directs the maid to take her directly to Adkian, no matter what he is doing. This young woman has some very important questions sent by her very dear cousin Rain.
I'm just gonna wave after her and say, I'll find you later, kiddo.
She just kind of, okay. And they leave and the door is shut. And Anna Leyland turns back to you and she has a little bit more of a serious expression on her face. So what did you need to tell me?
So you might want to sit down.
Wasn't aware I'd stood up.
I wasn't aware you'd sat down.
She had you. She'd sat you at the table and then sat herself. So.
Oh, I see. Well, then you might want to have some tea first. Just a little bit.
Okay. And she prepares some tea and gets herself, a plate, a sandwich, a scone, a smear of marmalade, of course.
Okay, so first thing you need to know is that myself and the members of whatever ship is out there, Scratch, Augie, Lachlan, the works, all of us, just came back from a visit from the still alive and thriving Underdark kingdom of King Cypher. He says hi, by the way.
Wait, is this someone that's taken the name? Someone claiming to be him?
No, it's definitely him. Confirmed.
Well, were you? I assume, since he says hi, I assume you were able to rescue Opal?
Not so much, but we did find out a lot more about that situation. So, Cypher, not a threat, is actually kind of apologetic and regretful about everything that happened. He's had a lot of time to reflect, very happy with where he is now, has no desire to come back to the surface and wreak havoc or anything. Actually, what has Opal is his former apprentice, who tried to duplicate Cypher's immortality, longevity, whatever thing he has, and resulted in something akin to soul hopping.
I think we're going to need something stronger than tea. Let me get wine.
Sounds good.
You still prefer red, right?
Oh, always.
Excellent, lovely vintage. She goes over and you see her pull a book on a shelf, and a door swings open to a hidden wine cabinet.
Ooh, fancy. I like it.
Would you believe that when I found this, it was empty?
I can believe that, yeah.
A perfectly good wine rack in the main office, and no one was using it.
Or maybe they just used it really frequently.
Possibly, but it was weird. Anyway, not important. And wine, red, yes. She brings over, it takes her a moment to grab a couple glasses, a corkscrew, all that fun stuff. She pops the bottle open, pours you a glass, pours herself a glass, takes a long drink, tops off her glass. Okay. So, the necromancer that Invictus Sanctum had been hunting, Dark Lord Cypher,
turns out to actually be his old apprentice.
is
Yes.
his old apprentice, who is up to...
Oh, I have papers. Hold on. Sorry. Rummages through my bag, pulls out the sheaf of ancient yellowing journal papers and plops them down in front of her.
Excellent.
Those were written by said apprentice, and they are slightly deranged.
Uh-huh. And she starts flipping through them, reading various ramblings from him mostly about Cypher and what had once been hero worship and was then turned into deranged, maniacal, very bizarre hatred. Uh-huh. And you notice that she has been taking more frequent and slightly larger sips than when she first started reading through the sheaf.
Okay, slow down there. There's still more. You want to be even-headed.
There's more? What,
Yeah.
are you going to tell me that Zypher wants to establish a trade alliance?
No, he didn't mention anything like that. But
Small miracles.
When we were there, surprise, surprise, the apprentice showed up and tried to incite a rebellion against Zypher, which was easily foiled because Zypher's subjects are all really, really, actually surprisingly nice undead folks. Like, they were really pleasant. But very loyal to Zypher, obviously, because, he, quote-unquote, saved their lives, and now they live pretty much tax and hardship-free. But the more concerning thing is that apparently he was recently spotted here, like down in the market districts.
Now that you mention that, I have been getting some reports from people about a strange, deranged, rambling lunatic.
That would probably be the one.
I thought it was Lachlan at first.
Well, he was with us, so I can give him an alibi for that.
And she reaches down and she pulls some papers out of a drawer. And she pulls out a sketch that had been done by several of the guards, sketch artists, essentially. And Rain, it is the sketches of a hooded figure, but the features are recognizable enough that you recognize the figure from when you had seen him when you were in Ryland's cabin, and the vision had been visible through Tanzanite's eyes. The gaunt face, the nearly skeletal hands, the marking on his face, the iris, the black iris with the corruption spreading down. You notice that from what you had seen in the vision is different, as the corruption is more prominent on his face now. And potentially you would recognize that that's potentially artist exaggeration, artistic liberties, but it does seem that it has spread further across his face.
Yep, that's the guy. Be very careful. He's very manipulative, uses a lot of tricky spell work that can worm its way into people's minds. The goal now is, with the help of Zypher and a couple others that would like to remain anonymous for reasons, we now know the exact location of Opal's soul. So the hope is we can go retrieve it, shove it back in his body, and let them duke it out. With a little help. At least that's the plan so far. We're open to criticism, suggestions, anything.
Have you considered writing a book?
Maybe. Maybe I should. Yeah.
What do you mean, duke it out? Are the souls going to fight for dominance?
We're not sure. Mainly, I'm not sure. I'm not the best one. I just got into all of this. But the others are all going to meet us here. I'm just the, foreperson coming to give you a heads up.
Fair. Well, whenever you find Opal's soul, you should probably have Halstrom and Scratch on hand.
Definitely. I'm not touching that.
Well, they've been connected with this since the very beginning. I have too, but I haven't been with you guys very much with all this. But Halstrom, I don't know if they've told you, but when all this was first happening, Halstrom was taking care of Opal. He was acting as his doctor. Opal went through some horrible things, so it would probably be best to have at least Halstrom and Scratch.
I did indeed not know any of that. So, yeah.
Yeah, from the little bit that Hallstrom has talked about with it, and Scratch even less. It wasn't very good, but they got it handled and we were able to leave, but then everything just kind of everything happened and happened so quickly, and I wish you the best of luck and let me know, but I don't know how much I can help. I didn't talk to him much.
Oh, something that you can confidently tell your hangers-on, you know the ones that I'm talking about, that Tanzanite will no longer be a problem for Tethea. Like, you can
Oh dear gods,
confidently-
is she dead?
No. The apprentice was hunting her, possibly because, she's Opal's sibling. And we decided that Zypher would be the best one to actually, protect her. He's surprisingly paternal, I guess is the word for it. Like, he was very protective over her. Because it's like a familial thing, I guess.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, and he's also sending out like a half dozen soul clones to throw him off the trail. That was my idea.
Well, that sounds like a very good idea. Distract him with something, I guess. But my realm is open to you for anything that we can do to help. I don't know how much we'd be able to help, but
I think right now they're just worried about getting the ship out of impound and rounding up
the ship was
crews.
impounded?
Oh yeah.
Why was your ship impounded? You guys are here as my guests.
Well, you'll have to talk to Malia's mom about that.
Oh, she
know.
was... Oh.
The Lady Greenleaf.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what her problem has been lately. She has been such a terrible mood. I don't know what is going on with her. But I will have to get that addressed with her. It must have just been misfiled paperwork. I know she would never do something like that. You are here as my guests.
You do remember when she had all of them trapped in paintings, right? Like, I came and warned you about that. Which I do apologize for interrupting some intimate moments on your wedding night.
No harm done. Let's just say he made up for it.
Oh, good. I don't need more details.
No, but you mentioned the paintings. That makes more sense than impounding your ship, although it does go together. No, she's just been in a very bad mood lately. But she always seems to be in a bad mood, so I'm not too worried.
Well, her daughter does possibly have a budding romance with someone that she might consider below their family. You know how it gets.
Oh, I knew it! I knew there was something going on between them. I knew it!
Is the queen just scrying on teenagers in the impound lot?
No, but she knows Malia's family. She's met Malia before.
I absolutely believe that she's watching reality TV.
And what better reality TV than noble teenagers?
Exactly.
Yeah, she has some weird ideas about, like, how things are, which is why I sent her to talk to your husband, because for some reason she didn't believe he was involved with the resistance. And so I figured what better place to get the real answers than from the source. So
She sighs very heavily, takes another reasonable drink of wine. I have so much of my work cut out for me here. There is so much damage control I have to do. Oh.
hey, do you want me to look over like a list of the staff members that you got from the Farwood Estates?
Mhm.
I'll like weed out the not so great ones for you.
Please do, and enjoy snacks.
Oh, thank you.
I have to go document a couple things. I'll be just a few minutes. Is there anything else you need from me before I go?
No, I was just planning to kind of chill here until the rest of them got here. So
Absolutely. I'll
now
send
I have something to work on.
Absolutely. Again, enjoy the wine. It is a delightful vintage. I think it's from the second era.
Ooh.
I found it in
It does has a little bit of like notes of spice to it. So I believe you are correct.
But yes, enjoy the wine, enjoy the snacks, enjoy the tea. And I have messages to go send, and I will be back. And she gets up and she hurries off. And we will transition over to Scratch and Augie.
Okay, Mr. Scratch. We have to hit the taverns, but we're not here for a good time. We're also not here for a long time. You know what I'm saying?
You know how long it's been since we had a good meal.
Yes, I understand that. That's why we hit the market stalls. We don't have time to sit down, cut the shit, have a roast.
Well, I agree with that, but I mean, we can still order something to go.
That's why I said we don't have time, because I knew exactly we'd walk in the first tavern, find no one, and have to spend 30 minutes there waiting for them to box up your meal.
Every time you don't find someone, you take a shot.
But if we don't at least stay for a minute, like, what if they come in? Like, we could leave and then someone immediately comes in.
I doubt it.
Okay.
Okay. Alright, first one, let's go.
Scratch walks up and, like, just kicks open the door.
I don't understand.
Alright, you swabs, are you in here?
So, Scratch, as you kick the door down, or door open, I guess, and you shout out, you immediately recognize some of your crew members.
Ah! Why'd you leave the ship?
Oh, hi, Captain. Well, it's what we were told to do. Wasn't that your orders?
Didn't leave anyone to watch the ship at all? No one?
No. The scary lady with the bun. She came and told us you had orders for us to vacate the ship. So we did.
You listened to orders of someone not on the ship and not from the captain directly?
It had his signature on it. How was we supposed to know?
That is a valid point.
What side are you on?
The side of crew morale. Do you want them to quit because they got chastised in public, which I could see you brewing to do?
Oh, we wouldn't quit over something like that.
Don't
paid
give
him
him
too well.
reason to start yelling.
Oh, no. Captain's right.
All right,
You guys
finish.
pay us real well. You guys take care of us. We wouldn't quit over something like getting yelled at in public. Ma'am, excuse me. Mix, you gotta remember, most of us have been yelled at by, I mean this in the least offensive way possible, Captain. Scarier creatures.
Tremels, get back to the ship.
They don't remember me shooting a guy on a deck of another ship, do they?
I think we'll have to remind them.
No, we remember. Just, Captain, you're kind of
Keep
vertically
fuzzy
challenged.
in a not fuzzy way.
Just glaring at the crew member, daring them to finish that word.
You see, there's about 8 people in this bar, and they are all staring at this guy with the energy of, shut the fuck up right now, you're going to get us all fucking killed, you absolute nugget.
They're now my favorite because they had the balls to call Mr. Scratch vertically challenged and adorable. Which is what Augie also thinks about.
I've never once said Captain's adorable. Captain's terrifying. He's just
I could tell
compact.
you were thinking it.
All of you
He's just-
need to go back to the ship, round up as many people as you can on the way, and you, come here. Points at the one that called him short of stature.
vertically challenged, compact, travel sized.
Mr. Scratch, do you want me to lift you up to your eye level?
Jump up and try to grab him by the collar.
Oh no, he walked over and like immediately knelt down.
When you get back to the ship, I want you to go to Halstrom and ask him if there's anything you can do to help.
Oh no.
Okay.
I think Mr. Scratch, that's a bit too far. I don't think the punishment fits the crime.
No, Mr.
Not a
Halstrom's pretty
punishment.
nice.
Not a punishment. Halstrom is
No.
an integral part of the ship.
Yeah,
You're a liar.
Mr. Halstrom's pretty nice.
And you're going too easy on him. You're a liar, Mr. Scratch. I know that's a punishment.
Mr. Halstrom will let us hang out with his little skull buddy. Yorick, I think his name is. Mr. Halstrom's pretty nice. He always asks questions about augmentations. That's a big word. I don't know what that word means, but I haven't done anything yet. It sounds too much like a vegetable.
I'm looking at every other crew member here and just seeing how they're letting this fool be their leader.
I think
You
we found
very
the new
much-
hire.
You very much can tell that they are all just like pretending they don't see him there, and you very much get the idea that he was just the first one to talk. They are all very quickly.
Let him speak for all y'all. So all y'all gonna go see Mr. Halstrom?
No, another one pipes up. No, he does not speak for all of us. No, no, he definitely does not speak for all of us. He's just a little quick on the draw, if you discern my meaning.
That's unfortunate for his future partner. All right. Like I said, finish your food, get back to the ship.
Yep. The others at the table you can see have already like boxed up food, stacked plates, and are already walking out the door as Scratches, threatening the other one.
I want to be ready. When the sun goes down, I want to be up.
Aye, Captain. And you see they're all heading out. The other guy that you've been threatening, you still have him by the collar of the shirt. Am I supposed to go now?
Summer child that does not know what's in it when he goes
First,
to see
You're
Mr. Halstrom.
you're going to tell me if you know where any of the others are.
Well, I mean, there's a couple bars on this stretch. We were doing, I think the elves call it a pub crawl. There's a couple more up the way. Most of the crew was at the big one down at all the way in there. The what's it called? Oh yeah, the spider's nest. I don't know why they called it that. It doesn't look anything like a spider's nest. It's a big building. It's kind of all black and wood though, but it's really big.
Scratch just has already released his collar and started walking towards the door.
Augie's gonna go toss 2 gold on the counter for the disturbance, and follow suit.
The idiot crewmate has now meandered his way, following his crewmates.
If he makes it off the ship alive, I'm gonna be surprised.
What are you trying to say?
That he is not cut out for this lifestyle. Let's go.
Okay. At least we know where they all are.
In theory, as long as they haven't left.
You don't really think I'm that short, do you?
Do you want the ego boost or the honest answer?
I want the pop-up book answer.
You have a big personality.
Everybody grows until they're perfect. Some just don't take as long.
Okay, Fulgrim.
Ouch!
On to the spider's nest.
Augie just
Like,
looks at
is the
Mr.
spider's
Scratch
nest
in
what I think it is?
7-foot giant kin.
What was that, Lachlan?
Is the spider's nest where I think it is?
Like, you mean all the way down the way here? Just across the river? Well, yes. It is, in fact, by the Thieves Guild.
Oh boy.
So, Scratch and Augie, as you've been walking, and I assume at some point you would have asked someone to point you towards the spider's nest, and they would have continued pointing you this direction, as it became very apparent that there are no dark wooden buildings in the area you were at.
Mm-hmm. Probably a couple people along the way.
Yeah, you get some weird looks, but they direct you down. And you make your way across into an area that is of distinctly lower quality buildings. Everything here is made from more dark woods. Everyone here, all the people here seem to regard you all, like the two of you, suspiciously. And they hurry along their way.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice everyone here, well, almost everyone here, is drow. Or of drow blood.
Wow. Feels like we never left the underground.
Is it a little bit weird that everybody all lives in one spot?
Not really. A lot of times people of the same culture just end up making little areas of establishment cities and kind of sequester themselves from other cultures.
And it's not because the other elves treated them inhospitably?
I mean, you could be that or personal preference, either one.
Alright, well, let's get this over with, hopefully. We don't run into a crazed individual without the rest of our crew.
You just had to speak it into being.
I did. Yep.
Don't worry about it. Actually, what are both of your passive perceptions?
16.
Here. Oh, wait.
Okay. Don't worry about it.
You're being secretive, sir?
Me, as your DM, secretive? Never. But you make your way down, and you're directed. Do you attempt to ask anyone in this area where the spider's nest is, or do you just keep walking until you find the building?
The layout of the city is pretty easily to figure out. So I figure if we just keep walking along this road, we'll see it eventually.
Augie's personable. They would have gone up to somebody.
Okay.
I do not have time to meander and look around.
Okay. Augie, as you've been walking, you have seen, you've seen several men, you've seen several women, children, all walking around. You've seen a few people who you think are merchants, quietly discussing prices for things. There don't seem to be many people just hanging around. People are usually going from somewhere or going to somewhere. Usually hushed conversations. If people are standing around, they're standing around in very tight groups.
Any carts selling anything? Any newsboys, if you will?
No newsies, but you do see, there's a handful of merchants around. You see some people, you actually see a couple stalls selling jewelry, different kinds of jewelry. One, they're both very fine make, very high quality, you can tell. And they seem to have set up shop directly across from each other, but don't seem to be competing.
Interesting. Do they have the same vibe or different vibes? Like one sells this style, the other sells that.
Yeah, it's kind of they seem to be selling the same things, but just in very different styles. One seems to specialize in golds, one in silver, one is more of an elegant, more delicate style, the other is much more bigger, bolder, more gems, more jewels.
Before Augie approaches anyone, they're gonna cast Detect Magic.
You don't
So-
detect much magic in this area.
Interesting. None of the jewelry's magical.
Nope, none of the jewelry's magical.
Ugh. Lame.
One of the artisans seems to have something in his pocket that's magical.
I'll approach that one.
Okay. It's a younger man, and he's just kind of standing there, watching as you come by. He hasn't said anything. He's just watching you. He's got his arms crossed over his chest.
Good day. How are you?
It'll be a lot better if you buy something.
Great customer service. Love this start. Very personable. What's the spread like, DM?
It's mostly rings. You have approached the stall that is a little bigger, a little bolder. So there's mostly rings that are set with fine cut gems. The craftsmanship is, you can tell it's very high quality craftsmanship. There's very clear attention to detail for all of the little curls and swirls, pressings and indents. There's bracelets, a few necklaces, earrings.
Are there any opals?
That's a good question. There is one pendant that has an opal set into it.
And then what's the School of Magic in this person's pocket?
Let's see. The School of Magic is... Oh, I had my list up. It is transmutation.
Interesting. That's quite an interesting pendant there. I will say that my curiosity is piqued. How much would something like that go for?
Kind of gives you a once over, still with his arms across his chest. Well, you haven't immediately demanded it from me for pittance of what it's actually worth. You don't seem immediately hostile to the fact that you're standing in an area full of drow who probably could and would cut your purse given half a chance. And you seem nice, which is weird.
Is that unusual?
Look where you're standing.
Augie looks around, zero judgment, very just like, I'm outside. What are you talking about?
Oh, you're not from Tethea, are you?
Oh, heavens no. No.
Look, you're standing in the slum district. You're standing in the place where we're treated like dirt if we're lucky. So I could sell you that pendant if you twist my arm for 4 copper, and I'd thank you for it. For what it's worth about 10 gold.
He just say he wants us to twist his arm.
Mr. Scratch. I think he was speaking in hyperbole. Can I insight the worth?
Go for it. You can actually tell he is undercutting the price.
Mm-hmm.
The craftsmanship that he's showing is very similar to the quality that you had seen from places, honestly, like you'd seen Opal craft with when you had seen his jewelry, and the places that you had seen the high-end boutiques in the cities you had stopped in, even the high-quality market in the Underdark.
But a humble country man myself. But these look far more than somebody ought to be paying out in copper. You make them yourself?
Every piece on the table. Well, me and my sister.
Your sister across the way?
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting business dynamic.
Can I hold it?
He kind of looks down the counter at you. If I don't get it back, if your friend doesn't buy it, I'm taking what's left of your tail.
Hey, here's 15 gold. We will take it, but I do have a question. So the surplus gold is for your time, if you will.
Did he give it
He
to
looks-
me?
He passes the necklace to you, Scratch, after Augie pays.
Okay. He just kind of holds it in both paws and kind of staring at it as Augie continues to talk.
I mutter, you better give me that when we're done.
Ah.
It's not for you.
You're
Buy your own.
hold on, circle back here. You're paying me extra more than you have to.
I'm paying you for your time, as artisans are. You're worth time, right? And so I'm at this moment paying you for your expertise of answer, because I'm going to ask you a question or two. And if it's too personal, just tell me, mind my business, skedaddle, I guess. But why are you here if you sell such high quality product? I mean, at a glance, like I said, I'm country bumpkin. But this is far nicer than anything I've ever seen anyone peddle in nicer places than this.
I'm a drow living in Tethea. This is where we live. This is how we make our living. I make pretty jewelry for the noble fuckwits in the fancy district, so I don't get either kicked out, my family doesn't get kicked out, and I don't get disappeared.
Disappeared.
There's
A lot of people disappear.
Oh yeah, all the time. I've lost friends. You can't talk to anyone here who hasn't lost friend or family to the guards doing routine checks. They get hauled off and nobody sees them again.
And let me guess, they never do anything right.
Oh no, God no. We're just trying to make a living here. You can be standing at a shop. A guard will come by, demand your wares, and if you say no, 3 days later, you're being hauled off for questioning.
Can I ask a DM question?
Fire away.
Have I been holding that for about a minute?
Probably.
Thank you.
It is a gold pendant with an opal set into it.
Nothing
Not
else?
magical.
Nope, not magic.
Okay. Continue.
Augie is upsetty spaghetti, but trying to keep it 100. That is no way to live. It's also no way to run a town.
Talking to the wrong crowd. You want to try to make a change, you talk to the nobles. They're the ones that make the laws.
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
Look, supposedly the new queen is going to be treating us better and things are going to be different. I'm not holding my breath. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, keep my head down, and hope I don't disappear.
She better, or I'm gonna put hair dye in her bath oils.
You say that like you know the queen.
Augie just stares at them. Yeah, well, hypothetically speaking, of course, if I did. Another question. I have to go gather up some of my wayward friends at the spider's nest. Where am I trying to go for that, and what kind of place is it?
Oh, you're going to the nest. Oh, okay. Oh, God, you're those people. Okay. His whole demeanor changes. Pardon my earlier rudeness. I didn't realize I was talking to distinguished company.
I'm gonna pretend I know what you're referencing, but if I didn't, fill me in.
You're the group that busted out of the paintings, right?
Oh, yeah, that fucker.
Yeah. That's where everybody who disappears goes. They get stuffed in a painting. You guys are the only people to escape. You guys are heroes in this
That's where they
district.
go. Wait, back it up. Skirt, boop, boop, boop. Well, SpongeBob, you backed up.
The fuck is a SpongeBob?
It's the saying down in the holler. I digress. You're telling me the guards take these folk around here to that horrendous woman with the uptight bun, and they get stuffed into paintings?
Yeah.
Without even doing anything?
All the time. She's got this thing about maintaining order, and like supposedly some old magic dude from like a 5,000 years ago or whatever is set to return again, and so she's weeding out the unsavory types. And that means anybody who has any sort of potential connection or is disrupting the peace. Namely, drow citizens.
Does she not know anything about the person who was in power 5,000 years ago and how related to drow they are?
What, you mean the Mad King? Everybody here knows about the Mad King.
Well, then why is she so mad at... Why is she singling out drow people if she's obsessed with the Mad King?
Because he's the most powerful drow to have ever lived.
And
He
she doesn't think he cares for
single-handedly...
his fellow drow?
Look, she thinks he's just going to rise up to power someday. And if she can systematically eliminate the drow in Tethea, it won't be a problem.
Hypothetically, that man wouldn't leave his potted plant for all the plant food in the world.
You must be talking about somebody different. No. The Mad King was a tyrant who stormed up from the Underdark and single-handedly took over the surface world, like
Please,
including
child,
Tethea.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah,
and we'll just leave it at that. My name is Augie Mayaster. And if you have a way of getting in contact with me and something happens to you and your sister, please do.
Well, Augie Mayaster, to be polite, my name is Drashgar California. I don't know if there's going to be any way for me to connect to you, but I'm just trying to keep my family safe. If something happens, I have a way to contact you. I will.
I hate that woman. Fucking I hate that woman. Alright, so, yeah, we're going to the nest. Should I know anything? Keep my pockets closed. I don't know. Look, I'm not trying to judge anybody. I'm just trying to get my crew and get out.
Duck when you go in.
Excellent. Good to know. Mr. Scratch, I think you can go in normally, probably then.
just stood here and let you have this entire conversation. The first thing you gotta say to me is a short joke.
Stop being short.
No, the sort. I think really you're just reading too far into it, sir.
I set the pendant back on the table.
Augie picks it up. This really is great. And if you can find a way to get your wares to another city, we'd be happy to sell them. Mr. Scratch, give him a card.
I give him a small scrap of paper.
Oh my god. We have a store. We sell different things in our store, and I think this would be a great addition. We come back and you're still here. I'd like to offload some product, sell it in the city for you.
Uh-huh. Look, if we manage to get out of the city, I will go look up Augie, May, Aster, and Scratch. See what I can do.
You do you, kid. I liked you. It was enough to stand here and talk to you. I appreciate the information.
You bought some wares, I can't complain. Good luck at the nest.
Let's go, Captain.
Aye.
He just kind of waves, and as you guys walk off, you can hear him very quietly muttering.
You handled that well, but I thought we didn't have time to meander.
We got information, didn't we?
I could have got information.
That wasn't
from my cook.
meandering. That was an information gathering.
Still hungry.
If I let you eat in this place, will you stop complaining?
We let the teenager eat.
You ate too!
I'm still hungry.
Oh my god, go order some food. Get through the door.
It doesn't take you guys very long to get to the spider's nest, and it is an almost entirely black building, which is just very strange contrast to what you had seen. Everything had been mostly dark browns and dark grays. This is almost stained black. The building itself stands nearly 50 feet tall. It is the tallest building in the area. It is huge. And on the front door, the only color on the entire door is a red spider.
I do not like this building. Let's just get this over with. I hope they have good food for your sake.
I wonder if they have fried spider legs.
Disgusting. Let's go.
And I kick the door again to go inside.
That is no way to enter someone else's establishment, and I hope nobody kicks down the door of your cake shop.
Augie, please make a dex save.
But I ducked.
You managed to duck just in time as a glass something shatters next to you.
That was your fault.
What do you mean that was my fault?
You kicked in their door.
Doors
Go
are
get your
stir.
crew.
Yep.
Go get your crew.
Run across the floor, over to the bar, and climb up on the bar, and I say,
All right, you swabs. Where are you?
same thing I said in the other one.
Every head in this building turns to look at you.
No,
Augie
no,
is deep
not
red.
you. No, not you. No, not that one.
No. I just go through the room until I find the ones. Are they in here?
They are, in fact. It takes you just a few minutes, mostly because your crew sticks out in this area,
Aha!
being various flavors of not drow.
Y'all, it's time to get back to ship. We got places to go. Leaving first, well, not first light, first sunset.
Oh, who died?
Williams.
Who died? What?
Uh-oh. We lost Augie. Oh no, Augie's back. Okay.
Yay.
Yes, so Scratch, you collect your crew pretty quickly. And they all kind of, oh, hey, Captain, how are you? Yeah, nice to see you. Yeah, sure, we'll get going. Uh-oh.
Oh, Augie's dead again.
No.
Augie's back again.
Well, while we're in a bar, take a shot every time Augie connects or disconnects. Love you.
That is potentially deadly.
When I find their table, I just kind of walk along the table, telling them all to get back to the ship, and if I see anything tasty looking on their plates, just kind of picking it up and chomping on it.
Most of the crew is pretty receptive. I mean, they're not super surprised to see you. A couple people kind of like lift their plates away from you when they see what you're doing.
And yeah, there's good food in this place, but we gotta get back to the ship. I'm leaving sunset, so round everybody up, and yeah, got a place to go.
Okay, Captain, whatever. The crew is most assuredly buzzed. You see several glasses in front of every person at each table that you go past.
I ain't worried about it. I'll sober them up when we get back.
And you make your way around the bar. Once it's been established that you're not looking for, it's been established that you have very particular people you're looking for, the rest of the patrons just kind of ignore you, go back to their conversations, go back to their drinks. And it takes you a little while to collect your crew, but you do pretty easily.
Okay.
And they're in pretty high spirits. Nobody seems any worse for wear. Again, slightly drunk, but...
Hopping off the table, chewing on a sausage I stole from someone's plate, I look at Augie.
Mission successful.
What did I miss? I'm sorry. Everything crashed.
Honestly, you didn't miss much. Scratch being Scratch, stealing food, harassing the crew, and sending people home.
Why are you stealing food? I thought you were going to get something. Not someone else's something.
Our crew members happily supplied their captain with a snack.
A crew member just kind of walks by. He was eating leftovers off our plates. Nobody's too concerned.
Correct. Please go order a decent amount of food to go. So if hunger strikes in the next amount of time, we won't have to do this again.
He's already gone over the counter.
You should have eaten something before we left. I wasn't hungry then.
Things were a little tense then. I almost shot a kid.
This is what it feels like for sure.
Stress makes me hungry.
Stress makes you hangry.
But yeah, I'll
no,
go
he's
over and
already
order some
got the
food.
angry. It just adds an age.
Okay. Was there anything particular you wanted to order, or are you just kind of ordering standard bar fare?
Oh, just standard bar fare for simplicity's sake.
Okay.
I don't want to take up too much time.
Yes, because I still have to deal with the
Hey,
supply
Okami,
room.
just as a question about this world specifically, do the buffaloes actually have wings here?
In Tethea, no. In different parts of the world, potentially.
Enlightening.
You guys haven't run into any buffalo in this world yet. You don't know if they have wings.
That's because they're all hunted for their wings. Is canon now.
No, it's not canon now. He's potentially he's soft cannon.
Hunted to extinction.
I'm so cold. I should not be cold.
But yes, so we will go ahead. You have been supplied with your bar fare. I assume you have some sort of salty grumblings with the bartender.
No, not as long as he gives me my food.
He gives you your food, no problem. You
Hey,
pay,
buddy.
you leave.
I'm ready. You wanna go over to the castle and then maybe check and see if Rain got in okay? I mean, we could help her out if she didn't get in okay.
I'm sure she got in okay. I lean in towards Mr. Scratch and I say, did you want to see if our friend made it around here?
Yeah, that's probably best.
I would say.
I thought I had a plan for this. But maybe I did not.
Would you like me to circle back around so you can think of a plan?
Yeah. Circle back around. Give someone else a chance.
All right. At the western side of Thea, our supply run team, you have made your way back in. The trip relatively quiet. And as you come to the merchant gate, there are a few people there checking papers, checking supplies, everything like that. It doesn't take too long before you're waved forward. As you approach the gate, you see there are several guards holding papers and checking in supplies. And they approach your little group. One of the guards at the front seems to be an older woman holding with a sword on her hip, a spear in her hand, and a few sheets of paper. Who's driving?
I think Masaru was in the front.
I think Masaru was in the front.
Was it Lachlan driving Masaru next? Because I was just instructing the horses to go forward. I wasn't actually using the reins.
I don't know, because you had cast silence at some point. I don't remember if that's concentration spell or not.
It's concentration, yeah, but animal friendship is not.
Whatever. So it's we'll put Masaru with the front. He's the dignitary. They'll ask for him anyway. Make it easy.
Very good.
So the guard comes up, kind of looks around, notices you, Masaru. Sir, you have a cart with you now. Has this been approved?
Yes, this is the cart that got left behind during some incident with the crew I am traveling with.
Uh-huh. This is okay. Whatever. You haven't run across any strange individuals, have you, on your way in?
I am afraid that narrows it down very little. But could you elaborate, please?
Well, a strange, mad, rambling man was seen in the town, wearing all dark clothes. Nobody really could tell who or what he was going on about, but he was looking for someone, and then he would just kind of disappear.
Do you know if he was around centers of commerce?
Was the person wearing a mask?
I would assume he's been around the centers of commerce. He's been in the merchant district mostly. Nobody commented on a mask, but we were getting a whole bunch of different reports. Some say he was wearing a mask. Some say he wasn't wearing a mask. Some said that he had ears like a fox. Others said that he had teeth like a demon. Some said that he was just a really thin skeleton man.
Kasara's going to give a glance to Kasuga.
He's gone.
Two different people.
There's a cardboard cutout where Goro was sitting.
Stole Yurei's technique.
Lachlan's gonna nudge Masaru and say, I think our plan with the coins may have worked. And I also think that your friend over there was seen a few times.
Well, let's not rule out that it's him yet. Did you happen to know what the, Excuse me, man, did you happen to know what the person was rambling about, according to these rumors?
Well, he was looking for someone. Somebody, some important person. Nobody could really get the name. And it almost seemed like there were two different people this guy was looking for. He was looking for some kobold. As if there'd be a kobold in Tethea. Some kobold. And then he was looking for, and then there was another guy looking for some kitsune.
How about any kitsune in the area, but, I've heard they are kind of, crafty little buggers.
I don't know. Honestly, sir, most people in this area, they don't really believe kitsune exist. Those are more of a northern fairy tale kind of thing.
Yes, I suppose that's true, but, yes, I'll keep an eye out. We should... My crew and I should probably get these stuff to the ship before any of the food goes bad.
Yes, we do have to inspect your shipment as you enter, just for safety and precaution reasons, and we have to ask a few questions to each of the people in your crew, I suppose we'll call it.
Co-workers. A crew I'm traveling with.
Whatever, we just have some standard questions for everyone. Really easy, really simple. We just have to go through and make sure that you guys aren't trying to bring in any contraband, any illicit substances, anything illegal, any potentially invasive species, and then you can be on your way.
Nope, just the drugs.
No, the drugs!
Not the citrus.
Lachlan just kind of looks at his at his apothecary pouch and goes, I'm licensed. Yeah, should be fine.
Aren't you unlicensed?
Licensed.
That's out of character.
Huh? What was the question?
Aren't you unlicensed?
No, I'm licensed. I'm not a licensed. I'm a licensed medical professional, and I'm a licensed apothecary. Apothecarist?
Apothecarius.
Yeah.
Apothecariist.
I literally just made that up. So.
You were going with it, though.
Yeah, and we're all just apothecarious.
This does seem kind of apothecryptic.
We should apothecary on.
The word is just apothecary.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, it's like a butcher working at a butcher.
I'm going with apothecarius. I like it better.
Very good. Unless my crew has been hiding stuff from me, I'm pretty sure we don't have anything illicit. You're welcome to search.
It's standard procedure, sir. We just have to ask you, please exit the vehicle. Please stand off to one side. One of my guards will ask you a handful of questions. Another will inspect your goods. And you will be permitted into the city.
Okay, doke.
Do you all disembark?
Yes.
I will comply.
Brutus Wood just pretends to be a normal dog.
Kyria steps down but tries to be as intimidating about it as possible.
Very good. How does Hellstrom get down?
He walked. His legs are fast. His
Oh, that's right.
movement speed is equal to that of the horses.
That's right. Is anybody going to take the cardboard cutout? Or is it just going to sit there?
We're just gonna leave it there.
Very good.
I don't want to touch
I
it.
feel like these cardboard cutouts are made of flash paper so that they can not only just appear as a cardboard cutout, but also go up in smoke.
I've just been running under the it's a hilarious gag. It doesn't need to have a reason. It doesn't need physics.
It just is.
Everything's better with physics.
But yes, you all disembark, and the lady then she just has a couple of the guards, and they go through everything, and you all notice that they're being very careful with everything. They're very much taking their time, not making not trying to avoid damaging anything. Somebody does in fact pick up the cardboard cutout, and just does this belong to anyone, or
I think one of the orcs left it there.
Oh, you had dealings with orcs. Okay, that'll change some questions very slightly.
Do I have to roll deception for that or no?
I mean, you did have dealings with orcs,
Yeah.
just not immediately. But you have had dealings with orcs, and they may have left it in the cart.
Fair?
Okay. We'll start at the top of the list. This shouldn't take too long. Please state your name. Please state your occupation. Please state your relation to Ambassador Kitsunagi.
Who's at the top of the list?
It just the questions are at the top of the list. They don't have a list. They're just looking at you guys.
Lachlan, medic, and personal doctor.
Could you scratch off the personal doctor part?
Technically, I am your current physician.
Kyrius, ship's cook, and he's currently training me how to be a warrior.
You're an apprentice. You know, that's something funny. We had another one of those running around recently. Didn't think much of it. Kind of wore a cloak like yours, but darker. Also talking about an apprentice. A lot of those running around, but no, you got yourself a good one there, kid. The ambassador here, he's a good man. He comes from a good family, you know. One of the good for the northern types. And next on the list is the tall. What are you, a warforged?
Magos Dominus Eldridge Hallstrom. Augmented human.
Okay, what is...
Ship mechanic.
And your relation to the ambassador?
Mechanic.
She leans over to one of their guards. Does the ambassador need a mechanic?
Masaru just pulls down his sleeve.
You all immediately see her face pale. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so sorry, ambassador. Oh, my goodness, I'm so sorry. I did not mean, I'm so sorry. I should not have made, I'm so sorry. Yes, please, go in. Yes, you are all fine. Yeah, you're fine. All of the guards immediately stop to the investigation. Everything is packed up very neatly. The cardboard cutout is very gently placed back into the back of the carriage.
Best way to get through a situation is to cause an accidental social faux pas.
And you are all escorted in. Ambassador,
Yes.
before you step too far away, you had mentioned something about orcs.
Yes, I had heard a report from my bodyguard that during the incident, when the crew had been separated, there had been a encounter with orcs. Isn't that right, Carius?
It was a small incident, but yes.
She turns her attention back to you, Kyrius. Could you tell me anything about what happened? We've been getting more reports of orcs lately, and we want to make sure that we're addressing the situation appropriately.
So RJ's memory is really, really bad, but Kyrius was having this, only happen a few days ago, would be able to tell everything in perfect detail to the guard.
Only a few hours ago,
Earlier
technically.
today.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, just a few hours ago, actually.
So you would have explained running into the war boss, being accosted, handling the situation. Would you have told her about following Augie to the portals, or would you have left that out?
I think at this point I would have left that out.
Okay. So you notice that she's
I also would have left out my background with having been raised by the orcs and that he knew my family's name.
Ah, very good, very good. You mentioned you ran into the war boss. This is the first report we've heard of this. Did he have any distinguishing characteristics, or did he just seem, and she kind of, or did he just seem, more orcish than the others?
You're gonna have to define more orcish.
Lachlan would just flick his wrist and a illusory hologram of the orc would appear. A little bit like this.
His arms were a little thicker than that.
You notice that she's not really paying attention really to anybody but Kyrius. Well, I mean, orcish, big tusks, kind of thick brow, jutting jaw, stooped.
Little stereotypical of you, but I actually, DM, don't remember exactly what he was. He was though, wasn't he? He was very stereotypically orcish.
But he was very stereotypically orcish. You do remember that he actually had a broken tooth, which was very strange.
With a C or a K?
Huh?
Are we talking orcish with a C or a K?
Correct.
Tooth.
He did have a broken tooth though.
Lachlan adjusts the illusion a little. Oh, that's right.
Right. All right. That seems weird. Oh, but and it was just out this gate. This was the way you folks came in. I mean, it had to be. I'm standing here. This is the direction you came from, so the orcs would have been out this way.
Correct. He did have 4 or 5, if I'm remembering correctly, other orcs with him.
Must be some kind of highway gang, but you folks are good, respectable people, so I'm sure you had no trouble dispatching them. You know how these kind of groups can be.
Kyrius squints a little bit.
Oh, I meant no offense to the, your adventuring types, but I mean, I'm sure you run into all your problematic people all the time. I've never met an orc myself, but I've heard enough stories.
Kyrius kind of moves a little closer, kind of says in a low breath, "Be careful. Some of those stories are true."
She kind of She kind of looks at you again, Carius, and just kind of. Okay. All right. Well, we'll be careful there. And you
I'm just
kinda notice-
imagining that she's just been locked in on this conversation with Kyrius, and Hellstrom and Lachlan are just like discussing the illusory hologram that's just standing right behind her, and she's like, yes, conversation.
He's giving hyper detailed critiques, going, no, it is like this.
How
I'm
tall
gonna
is
be
she?
off.
She
It would be a little bit smaller than he would,
Sorry,
or
guys.
it would be standing a little bit stooped, because it has to fit in the 5-foot cube.
No, but the guard. How tall is the guard?
The guard. Let's see, she's an elvish woman. She's just shy of 6 feet tall.
Okay, so I am not doing anything overly aggressive, but I am going to pull myself up to my full 5'11" height as I stand there.
Oh, you're posturing. Excellent. She kind of looks you over a little bit, and you kind of notice some gears are turning in her head. And she just kind of, all right, I'll remember that. And you're close enough, Kyrius. You can hear her mutter, "Scary one in the cloak. Watch." And then she closes her notebook and she waves you on, and you guys are. And she steps back so you can enter further into the city proper.
As I walk by, I don't even give her a second glance, just straight on it.
Very good.
Excellent.
On that note, though, I need to go. Even though I am off from work tomorrow, my kids are not off from
Yeah.
school, so I still
You
have
have
to wake up
children
early.
to tend.
Oh, have fun, RJ.
Yes, have fun.
I do.
Good night, everybody.
I do have to go.
See ya.
Right. I know I have plans for you, sir. Don't think you're safe.
Getting all
Take
beat.
care, you two.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
All right. Well, how much further do we want to go in? Do we want to go ahead and we time warp our reunion a little bit and then we can call it there? Or does anybody else have anything they wanted to do? Doomy, did you ever come up with a plan for potentially The Apprentice?
I had worked on a little something, but I was going to just kind of do some more searching, but instead cast see invisibility on myself.
Oh, okay.
Just in case.
Absolutely. Well, we can
But-
certainly run through that. If you'd like to.
Um,
Or we can pick that up next week.
I could pick it up next week, just in case I find something that everyone should be here for.
Yeah, because I think this is a good spot. You guys are all in the process of collecting your information and making your way back towards either the boat or the palace. So I think this is a good spot.
Oh,
Very good.
All right, so then we will see everyone next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Make sure to check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch. I don't know, whatever social media is that exists anymore. Out into the void. Make sure to give us likes, make sure to give us follows, interact with us so we can interact with you. The more feedback you guys give us, the more we know what you like to see and what we can continue to do. And
Quick.
always remember, everyone.
Before you give the tagline,
Oh, yes.
we will only be having 2 more sessions with AA before we go on our winter break. Which will be next weekend and the weekend after that, because our last session before winter break is usually right before Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So I just wanted to get that out before you went for it.
Very good. No, you're good. I forgot about that. I forgot we had a break coming up. But yes. Oh Oh yeah, check us out on Patreon. I forget we have Patreon. I need to plug Patreon.
Yeah, we got Patreon, we got TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, now X.
I refuse to call it that.
I think technically we have a Facebook page somewhere.
We do have a Facebook page. You're right.
We should make a Blue Sky, considering everyone's moving there.
You want to do it?
Blue Sky?
Congratulations, you volunteered yourself.
I mean,
No!
I mean,
I don't know how to run social media.
Augie runs TikTok and Kyrie runs X, and me and Venus run the YouTube. So
This will be an excellent learning opportunity, Halstrom. Guess what you have volunteered yourself for?
and if it fails, it's like we never had it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Worst case scenario, you just have another platform for meme shit posting.
Yeah.
Very good.
Think about it. If you want to do it, hit me up. I'll make up the account and send you over the information.
But yes, that is more of the behind the scene things that we will go ahead and work on. And in the meantime, to all of our lovely watchers out there in every corner of the world, there are 20 sides to every story. Roll for yours.